What makes it worse is that we're about to get told that the witnesses told 999 this young chap had been stabbed. That implies emergency services, the patrol that turned up, they would have or should have had the information about Henry having stab wounds. Only a few days ago, Vikram Digwa was sentenced to life in prison with a minimum term of 21 years. This is for the murder of Henry Nowak, ladies and gentlemen, which took place last year, December 2025. I'm sure you guys have been keeping yourself up to date with what's been going on with this one because it has been flooding the FYP online. People went down to the police station in Southampton. Initially it was calm, hundreds of people chanting, "I can't breathe! I 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 can't breathe." As we've seen, the likes of Nigel Farage have gone against the family's wishes.
Henry's family have responded to this in just the most extraordinarily dignified way. But I suggest the rest of us respond to this with pure, cold rage.
And soon after, it turned wicked.
We ain't sick of it! Yeah, I'm mental! Yeah, I don't actually endorse violence. Get out of the way!
In Henry's name, man, this is barbaric. You have to be real. There's a way of protesting, a way of letting your voice be heard, a way of coming together, unifying and making a stand. But this, yeah, it's wild, isn't it? The sad thing is the parents of Henry Nowak, when they done their press conference, they told us they didn't want anyone to use this for their political agenda. They didn't want the death of their son to be used to create more division.
Police are biased against white people, says Nigel Farage, who not long ago was urging hatred against anybody with a Polish surname, like Nowak, which is, I think, the most popular surname in Poland, telling me that he wouldn't want to live next door to Eastern European, people of Eastern European heritage. But hey, where you see tragedy, he sees opportunity. He sees opportunity. And of course, then you get the, what would it be? The kind of projection, the switching it the other way round, because people respond differently according to the colour of the victim and the perpetrator. And that way madness lies. Whichever way round you see it, you can be absolutely heartbroken and furious about a murder, but you shouldn't be more heartbroken and furious because somebody's introduced the ethnicity of the killer into the conversation. How can you make the murder of Henry Nowak about immigration? How can you make the murder of a young man with a Polish surname in beautiful, diverse Britain about immigration? Unless you're sick. And I don't want to talk about it because I don't want to talk about that sickness. I don't particularly want to talk about the killer's sickness. I tell you what, though, this man deserves better. This man does not deserve to have his son's murder turned into a political opportunity.
An issue that many people do have is the comparison of George Floyd and the incident that he went through, which was police brutality. And what happened to Henry, although disturbing and horrendous, it wasn't police brutality. That would more or less go down as negligence. He was neglected. And that's what made that body cam extremely disturbing. The fact that he was calling out for help. He was on the floor, drifting in and out of consciousness, asking for an ambulance, telling them that he had been stabbed. This went wrong for me, ladies and gentlemen, before this whole incident actually took place. This went wrong the moment the local authorities never dealt with the incident that took place with Vikram weeks prior to Henry even being there. And so this took place a few weeks prior to poor Henry losing his life. Let's take a look at this.
Come on! Come, recording him. No, come on, man, please.
So at this point, we've got Vikram with a sword in his hand during the day, during the afternoon. And he is telling someone to sort his boy out. It's more or less a threat saying if he doesn't sort his boy out, then you know what's going to happen. I'm going to stab him. So this is one incident. Look at the size of that sword. It is a very, very long sword. It's not the same one he used to kill Henry. And this is an incident that's been filmed, that's got multiple witnesses, and the police never done anything about it.
Come on! Come, recording him. No, come on, man, please.
Where's the fuck how you going?
You got big problem, mate.
Where's you got
big problem?
We will see, Kulba. No knife, no knife, no knife.
Do samochodu, kurwa! Do samochodu łaź.
If they would have done their job correctly, if they would have dealt with Vikram and the incident he found himself in weeks prior, then Henry Nowak would probably still be here today. We also have new details through court documents that tell us it took 20 minutes for the police to actually get to Henry's location. You have to ask yourself, if it took 20 minutes, if the call was made at a certain time and it took 20 minutes, why was an ambulance not called?
I'll tell you a story about the Henry Nowak case that they've been hiding from you since it happened in December. You all thought that the police were fooled by the murderer and his family, that, yeah, he's not been stabbed, he's drunk, it's all his fault, right? You've been told that that's what the police were told, right? Yeah? No. Henry was stabbed at 11:18. You've not been told that either. You were told it was 11:30, right? And you believed it because they told you it. It's not true. It's 11:18. I've studied the court records. This is all not me speculating. I've studied the court records. You can do the same. He gets into a neighbour's garden by trying to escape the perpetrator's knife. Climbs over via a bin and falls over into this garden here where he was found, right? He wasn't first discovered by Digwa. He was discovered by the neighbours. The neighbours come out. According to reports in local newspapers, he told them, "I've been stabbed, I'm dying." He was in a lot better condition in the first 8 minutes. The 8 minutes you don't know about. So he's stabbed at 11:18. The police come 11:37. It's nearly 20 minutes that he's been stabbed lying there in the garden. Nearly 20 minutes, guys.
Wow. It makes sense as to why we saw Digwa's dad trying to hold him up, sit him up, when the police had arrived on a body cam. He was sitting there for a whole 20 minutes. How the hell was no one called an ambulance? How have the police got there? Why is an ambulance not there? What makes it worse is that we're about to get told that the witnesses told 999 that this young chap had been stabbed. So what that implies is that the emergency services, the patrol that turned up, they would have or should have had the information about Henry having stab wounds.
Got these people stood around. The owner of the house come out. There's at least 10 people watching this going on. And this is where Digwa's father takes over and keeps control of Henry in his own way. However he did it. And while that was going on, they were making phone calls to the police saying that we've been attacked, right? All the time this was going on, Henry was quite lucid, telling them, "I've been stabbed. Look, I'm dying." So when the police arrived, there are independent witnesses stood all around, at least 10. Not that family, at least 10 others. Not friends, people, not people involved in this incident at all, neighbours of Digwa's family. Neighbours. People who, most of them are white, and they're literally listening to Henry say, "Look, I've been stabbed, I'm dying here." Now, there are reports that one of them called the police, and the police said, "We're already dealing with the incident." That's what I hear, because they gave the same address. There's reports of neighbours turning up in court to make statements, but I'll go into later. Yeah, on the body cam, all we hear is Digwa's family. That's the question. Were the neighbours asked by the police what they seen? If I was a policeman turning up there, mob-handed, I'd say, "What did you see?" "Well, this boy fell and there's blood and he said he's been stabbed and he says he's dying." Not on the body cam does he say he's dying. He's much worse condition on the body cam. They spoke to Henry. They heard Henry. They heard him saying he was stabbed and he's dying. The victim was talking. The witnesses were there. The neighbours were there. The police arrived. Did anyone speak to these independent witnesses about what Harry has just told them? What went on? What did you see? No. They only listened to the Digwas. This is a proven fact. Why aren't we hearing about the neighbours as you spoke to Henry? Because they don't want to tell you that, do they? This is what I've got from the court. During the fatal incident in December 25, Harry managed to tell multiple neighbours that he had been stabbed and was dying. Body-worn cameras footage of the incidents which presented during the murder trial showed him telling the police, "I've been stabbed and I can't breathe," but no reference to the neighbours. So what were the neighbours' actions? While neighbours did not make the initial emergency call, they were the ones that found Henry in the garden after he climbed over the fence, right? To escape his murderers. He told them, "Oh, I'm dying." In this period between 11:20 and 11:37, in that period, the brothers got on the police for a 12-minute call and blamed Henry on everything. So the mindset when they came was, he's drunk, he attacked this man because his turban's off, and he's lying about he's been stabbed. And they were laughing at him, saying, "Don't think you have, mate. Don't think you have been stabbed, mate." They think it's funny. They mocked him. They literally mocked the dying man and cuffed him as he died. And all these neighbours stood around and watched. I want to know why they stood around and watched. Why didn't one of them approach the policewoman at least and say, "No, actually, that's not true. He told us he was stabbed, and he said he was dying, and I saw the blood." What the hell happened to the witnesses? Maybe they were too scared to speak up. Maybe that family in that area has a reputation, if you know what I mean. Be careful what I say is TikTok. Don't forget, the whole family's been done for having like 20 offensive weapons in their house. All sorts of truncheons, knives, even a rifle. Were that family well known to these neighbours? Of course they were. Was that the reason for the silence? Was that the reason for none of them whistleblowing on the Digwas? Just stood there and watched as he died. I don't know the neighbours, but I'd love one of them to come forward and to give their side of the story. What did you see, neighbours? I challenge one of you to contact me and tell me what you saw. Please do that. Contact me under this video, because I don't believe that all of you stood by idly why this boy died. I don't believe you could. I don't believe it. The neighbours were there. The police were there. The police arrived. Was anyone asking you, 10 of you, what did you see? Because if the answer is no, the police weren't asking you what you saw, then the question will be asked for a very long time. Why did the police only listen to the Digwas? As a proven fact.
It's true. It's true there, isn't it? Why did they only go there with the Digwa information? If there were other witnesses and other witnesses made calls to the police, why did they only go there based on Digwa's information? Maybe, just maybe, the operator didn't compile all of the report and get it over to the officer that turned up. So they only went there based on the initial report, but the other calls that come in wasn't compiled together and sent over. So they didn't have all of the information when they turned up. I mean, that's the only way it would have made sense to me. But then even then, when they did turn up, what did the other witnesses do? The guy makes a good point about those witnesses maybe being intimidated of the family, seeing the family there, dealing with it. Maybe the dad, when he was holding him up against the wall prior to the police getting there, was telling all the other witnesses that they're going to deal with it. They're managing it. I say in some of the comments that more people did ring 999 and let the police know how bad Henry was.
Why are we not hearing in the Sun newspaper, could be any of them, that the neighbours who've just spoken to Henry and what was said? What was the conversation? I'm keeping the focus on these witnesses until I hear the truth. Now, on this channel, the video before you can watch, I've got the phone call. Now, you all know there was a phone call by the Digwas to the police, but what you didn't know, the powers that be chopped off the last minute of the call. And in that call, the murderer says, you better send some medical help. Yet when the police arrived, they never said anything about requests for medical help. All they're interested in, the race card. What did he do? What did he do? What did he do? Well, their own phone call. They said he needs medics.
Sounds like miscommunication at its finest. You're receiving a report and you're not conveying all of the information to the policeman that's turning up. All they heard was racist. What seems more plausible at this point is miscommunication. So whatever was given to the person, the operator over the phone, wasn't conveyed to the officer that turned up. Then you have the problem of the officer that turning up not being able to notice the signs of someone slipping in and out of consciousness. Because his responses tell me all I need to know. He sounded like he weren't taking poor Henry seriously, as if Henry was the one making it up.
Why were the police so nonchalantly thinking he was drunk and lying about being stabbed? How could you think he's lying about being stabbed when you've got 10 people there to confirm you that he's dying? You 10 people, how do you sleep at night?
So based on this information and this details, ladies and gentlemen, it makes the situation a whole lot worse, so you can understand why people are protesting and going down to the police station and saying what they're saying. Because that's two incidences. The first one being Vikram being on the streets during the day, waving a samurai sword around, telling my man to sort his boy out. And just to let you know, there was another incident prior to that the police were dealing with, but we don't know what happened with it, that also involved Vikram waving around a sword. So that's two different incidences prior to this happening. But not only that, when we actually get to the incident, there's miscommunication between the officer and the operators. They're not even conveying the right information, the true information, and the reality of the situation that the officers are actually walking into. That is incompetence at its finest, ladies and gentlemen. That's what that is. It's incompetence at its finest. People have asked the question, well, why is this only surfacing now when it took place in December? Well, for one, we're at political war, so people are going to take advantage of this story based on that, which is what the family didn't want. But for two, we have to highlight the incompetence of the police, because these are the ones that are meant to be serving and protecting.
He died one road away from where I live. And 4 hours before his death, my grandson left my house to go home. Sober, same as Henry was. This fucking lot portrayed Henry as being a drunk and a racist. He was not. He had 1 point that night. 1 point. It just comes and goes, mate. You know what I mean? It's what I can't stand. Because what happened when he died, they portrayed it as a racist attack, and it was just a one-on-one. That's how it felt. You know, that's how they portrayed it. It never was, mate. Never was. Now you're seeing the truth. Did you know that the murderer, was brought here with no handcuffs and was able to walk around the fucking police station picking his own food? Did you know that?
Yeah, I heard it. It's disgusting.
Yeah, walking around picking his food in the fucking kitchens.
So is that what they've got people doing at police stations now, blood? Like walking around the kitchen and picking up your own food? Flipping hell. One thing we must add is that this situation shouldn't reflect badly on the Sikh community. This is one idiot, one guy that thought he was a bad man out of thousands and thousands of good people, because I know some Sikhs that are really, really good people. I know many people have said that already online, but it's the truth. This situation shouldn't change your opinion on the Sikh community itself. Just one idiot done something stupid and he is paying the price for it. Anyway, leave your thoughts and all your comments down below. Let me know exactly how you're feeling and what you're thinking after watching that one right there. Probably will be the last video that we do covering the Henry Nowak situation. Once again, RIP to Henry Nowak. Condolences to his friends and family. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if we're newly watching, and I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.